blunderman1 is up against Astavakra in week 1 of the Crazyhouse 960 League. It's called Season 9.60 because I was going to quickly post this for those who are interested. I'm not quite sure if I should ping CWC match for it, but what I'm curious about actually is whether Lichess recognizes that I'm streaming it. That would be cool because it is Pi Chess. So maybe I need to change my stream title to offshoot of. Yeah, I might need to do that. So let me quickly sort that out. If it's not recognizing it. So yeah, we didn't really get a chance to look at the initial position. Let me just. Oh, that's true. That's a different one. Um, okay, sorry about this. Let's just quickly edit the stream info. And just in case they would, because I've heard in the past that they are totally fine with putting PyTest stuff on the front page, but yeah, it's not on the front page yet. Maybe it's just there are too many people streaming. Okay, so the stream hasn't properly started. Let's start properly. Okay, so blunderman1 is on board 4 up against Astavakra. So they're both 2,000 to 2,200 rated players. We see this bishop is very happy. This bishop for now is unhappy. Happy bishop and unhappy bishop. This knight is going to have to come out here, and the queen is also kind of unhappy. So something a little bit not right about this way of developing. Maybe trying to figure out what would have been the more correct way of developing these pieces. Maybe like this and this. No, but then that would block the queen up. So I'm really not sure what would have been a better way. Maybe keep the bishop. Maybe go here and here would have been, yeah. Okay, so, but okay, we've got this, and we're seeing it's a slightly uncomfortable position of pieces for blunderman1, but you can see he has a very clear plan. Bishop here, castles, and then he's got a normal looking position. He's going to bring the queen back into the center, and so on and so forth. And he's going to be attacking a queenside castle king. So something slightly awkward opening few moves, but he's developed his pieces very quickly. Notice he's just used minimum number of moves to get his pieces out, and now he's going to get castled. So somehow, if they weren't the correct opening moves, I don't think Black punished, and I don't know what else Black could have done to cause trouble. I was thinking this kind of setup to get the bishops out, but I'm not sure, or maybe try to challenge this pawn somehow. But again, I'm not sure how you do it. So it looks like Astavakra basically played copycat, which is always a possibility. You can always play copycat, and usually white will have a very slight edge when you play copycat. And Joanna Tries and Pepe are both in the chat. Pepe says f4, f5 look like interesting holes. What happened? Maybe I refresh. Okay, go blunderman TV. Did something happen, or did just my connection just time out in some weird way? Just double checking. Okay, so it seems I'm not on the Lichess front page for this, which is a shame. Okay, so never mind. So we have this opening castles, and it all looks good. If the knight is ever taken, you're just opening up the rook file. That's all very pleasant. And we're seeing an attempt to attack on the queen side. Okay. I'm really a bit confused. As Pepper was saying, these two are weak. Actually, from playing against Joanna Tries, I know that unless black quickly castles, dropping diagonals along here is going to be trouble for black. But having said that, I can't see any obvious diagonals on offer. So, okay, so an interesting way of developing the queen. But black wanted to put his bishop there anyway, so it doesn't really... There's nothing scary about this yet. Now, there is something scary. Knight here takes, knight here takes, takes. Doesn't work though, but it's an idea. Hi there, Jana. So yeah, knight here is interesting, but black is just castling quickly. So the idea was if you take knight here. Oh, it doesn't even work. This square is double defended. So maybe we don't go there. We have to go here and go for a g7 attack, but g7 seems well defended as well. So maybe that doesn't work either. Pepe says knight d5 and bishop f5, bishop takes g6 might be an idea. Yep, that seems to work better than my idea because this knight is a defender of e7. It's all very slow though, and by the time you've done bishop here and here, black's castled. Yeah, so black is castled by then, and what were you planning? So we need, yeah. CR7 for that. It says arrows so easy on pie chess. I like it. Yeah, they are. Very cool. Okay, I prefer this is very nice. Going for a pawn and sticking the pawn on f5. That's a very good approach. It will leave the bishop a little bit misplaced. So but then you can take the knight and then go knight to d7. So you will get those. You'll get what you wanted. So I'm expecting bishop takes, knight to d7. This concept. Because if at g6 here takes, knight to d7, and there's nothing really concrete. The king just sidesteps, and next, what are you doing? So it's an interesting idea, but it's nothing so concrete yet. I've got some connection issues. This is really weird. Or is it Astavakra has got connection issues? And if it is me, then that's a very strange thing. I think it's me. So how is the stream? I mean, it's kind of jerky for me, but is the actual connection okay for you guys? Or is it just my connection with PyChess that's acting up? Oh, that was the idea. Knight takes bishop. That's pretty sneaky. And then the bishop's still covering. h3. I'm going to just try and refresh and hope. Wow. Yeah, I've got some weird connection issues here. This is nasty because pawn takes pawn, knight f3, king here at g2 is checkmate. It looks good, but just weird flashing. Okay. And I don't know how to stop that. So yeah, I got some weird lag. So bishop h3, knight takes h3, g takes h3. So I'm seeing the moves like after the fact, as it were. It's kind of annoying. So we're expecting. So the classic mate would be a bishop here and a knight here or here. But instead we've got bishop at f3 comes, pawn at g2, takes g2, king takes g2. Interesting. And I wonder if takes g2 was necessary. Because there could have been knight at e1, pawn here, takes, and get an extra pawn out of things. Maybe. But then you lose a knight. So yeah, maybe that's not such a good idea. So takes here happened, knight here. A lot of white's pieces, notice, are on the wrong side of the board. My connection is just not working at all. Bishop takes g2 is too much, people are saying. Yeah, I think. So the knight wants to swing here, but maybe he can defend. So how does he defend? King takes g2, knight e6. He's got time on the clock. He defends with the pawn. Very good. Looks solid. And so if knight wants to come to here, it'll have to sack for a pawn, but then you can just drop down. If check, the sidestep, you can give the pawn back, check, drop down again. And you have like a bug house draw, but nothing. Yeah, I'm getting these flashing streams. I don't understand. So knight h4 came, king g1, pawn at g2. So obviously if black ever gets a knight or a rook, then white is mated. So it's pressure. This is pressure for sure. If you give a knight or a rook, you're mated. And knight here is mate. So the threat here is takes, and win this knight. There's a certain pressure. He's very lucky, for example, that he didn't move his rook to here, because otherwise pawn takes, bishop takes would be forking a knight and a rook. And that's the kind of thing not so easy to see in advance. So he has to take it, takes, but now he can simply move the knight out the way and say, I'm chilling with this knight, but he has to make sure he doesn't give a queen or a rook or a knight. As long as he doesn't do that, blunderman1 is doing very well. but it's going to be hard work. For example, if you go here, not clear. If you go here, you're having to hide this knight away. There could be a move like pawn here. No, so pawn here actually takes away the knight drop threat. So it's not so good. So looks like he's okay. He's okay, but the problem is all his pieces are on the wrong side of the board. So it's really uncomfortable. So he went knight f. Oh my goodness. Okay, I see. Okay, so taking away this knight actually makes a lot of sense because now this pawn is weak. But takes and then doesn't take. What? This is insane. Because now he's just asking for knight f3, king takes, knight here check, and now he has to go here, pawn here check, king here, and there are even promotion ideas. Okay, so the rook covers, but why walk into that? And white could even just go knight here and threaten knight at f3. It's hard, you'd have to push f3. So knight f3 takes, what's the actual line? Knight here check, you have to now run for it. There are all kinds of moves like knight takes pawn or pawn here. So bishop at d5 is a very strange move, and it's not a direct mating threat either. I'm sure. Yeah, this stream is on unwilling delay as we await the connection to come back and the moves to appear. So I guess it's sort of fitting that we're on a kind of delay, but it's not the kind of delay. It's an unwilling delay. Yeah, this is what we're wondering. Do you go knight f3 first, or even knight h4 first? But I'd say just go for it. Go for knight, and he's thinking a long time, or else my connection's down, because it's so tempting. Let's calculate the mate, and he's letting his time run down. It is a good idea to spend time to calculate mate, but I don't know about spending this long. Pawn here, check, king here. So the moves have come. Nope, not for me. I'm gonna have to just reload. Okay, they've come eventually for me, and let's see if the clocks are correct. Let's just reload. Maybe instead of looking at TV, I'm going to try doing something different, which is to look at it as a game link, and maybe that makes things better, because there might be something at issue with the actual. So we're going to go blunderman1, and there should be an a secure page. Okay, blunderman1, good, and just going to click on his last game, and maybe that way it's not just trying to refresh something with TV or something. So maybe it's slightly better. Let's just cross fingers. So blunderman1 up a lot of material, but as Pepe was saying in the chat, his king is very insecure. It looks like the game is slowly loading. And we're just going to step back a few moves. This is exactly the line we predicted. King here, and I was wondering, is he going to drop a pawn? King runs. And it looks like Astavakra, only on 17 seconds, is trying to cut the king off. So the threat is pawn here and promote. If you go here, this is checkmate. This is a very interesting way of doing things. How can this work? It doesn't have the right to work. So the idea is this: if you go this way, knight here is mate. If you go this way, we promote. So we don't have the rook defending. And what's weird is I can't see the defense. I guess. So you want to guard this square and this square, and I don't see exactly how to do it. Maybe you just take this and let him get a queen and run. Maybe that's one way of doing things. And I'm hearing... Yeah, hopefully that's all. Yeah, hopefully everything's working. Okay, but yeah, I think Astavakra, it was correct to calculate, but yeah. And there's another idea in this position as well, which I just realized, which is this. But okay, he's allowing the queen. I think this is good. Just run. Um, and the point is, black has no material in hand, so I think he should be fine. Oh, I am blind. Wow. Okay. So the question is, what was the correct defense? Oh my goodness. So it was worth spending the time there, right? What was the correct defense? Pawn at g2 is mate. Black is winning in this position. Well, look, straight up, I do not understand this move here. It just allowed this whole sequence. So like, oh, I understand why he didn't take back this knight. Because the queen is protecting g2 and knight at e2 is mate. See, I just completely missed this. Okay, so what was the correct defense? Here, the correct defense is simply bishop at g4, don't take this knight. So the moment he takes the knight, takes knight h5 maybe. Yeah, but this is not correct. Takes, it's not correct, he just missed, he can't take back. That's a terrible move, because he can't take it back. Going back a bit earlier, bishop at g4 again, really strong, bishop at g4 guarding the light squares. But otherwise it's always quite a tense game. Bishop takes h3 is correct, getting rid of the knight. Pawn at e2 apparently is an idea here. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Instead of pawn at g2, pawn at e2 is quite smart actually, because you're trapping that bishop basically. So pretty nice. So a really interesting game. Really tight game the whole way. And white actually doing okay after the opening. This whole idea developing the queen to h2, not so bad. Queen d5, computer likes. I'm not sure what you do against bishop f6. Queen d5, bishop f6. I'm guessing you give up and put a bishop back again, and then take the rook. That's what I imagine it's thinking. So really quite advanced stuff there. Knight f5 was correct here. Queen takes a5. Interesting. Okay, so interesting stuff. Pawn at e7. Rook here. What's the continuation? Not clear. Okay. Yeah, look, I completely didn't see the mate myself, so kind of embarrassing. I want to watch it from blunderman's perspective for consistency, so let's do that. Yeah, ideally it should be the same position both games, but whatever it is. Whatever it is, it is. Okay, so e4, because that way it's more balanced if it's the same position. So it is possible to insist on the same position, by the way, within the challenge. How do I flip the board on Pie Chess? Oh, that's true. Just, yeah, under Astavakra. First button is flip the board. So we see the same kind of line, e4, e5. I like this setup now from blunderman as black. I feel that's really nice. I don't know, it just feels right. I just feel like it feels really good. It may not be good, but I like it. Just feels like the bishops are open. They're doing things. There's always the risk of a knight takes f7 sack. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Pawn takes knight, queen takes, knight f6 seems fine. But he probably is worried about it. So yeah, I wasn't surprised. But this can't. Yeah. So uncomfortable. So he's not gone for the material, and this is still coming. King takes knight, knight here. Just going to double check. Does the stream look okay? Layout seems fine. Yeah. Yes, I quite liked Black's approach, but maybe he had to be a bit more greedy. Go for the material when he could. But I think he was concerned. So like, what was the concern? So, so it's a nice position. He's fought the two knights. The idea, the thing is, takes, knight here, and then simply castles. What's wrong with this? So what's wrong is that takes, knight here, the knight takes f7 comes, king takes knight, and then pawn at g5. Which I can see is slightly annoying, but rook f8, pawn takes knight, knight takes pawn, knight at g5 again, king g8. Ah, and there's the problem. Bishop is hitting h7. Okay, okay. So it's good to analyze a little bit deeper, and you kind of see, he can't just castle manually or something. This whole all white's pieces are actually streaming in. So he did the right thing actually, hitting that bishop. Yep, he did the right thing. He did the right thing, and he's removed the bishop, which is really good, and that puts the knight on a less favourable. It's no longer hitting all those weak light squares. Hidden dark squares, but the dark squares, yeah, the dark squares can also be an issue. But yeah, something can be done now with a bishop and a knight in hand. What could be done? We could develop, for example. You don't really want to trade. It's not bug house, so it's no good just doing this because that's just trading more pieces. This is nice, giving extra coverage to the king. That's the thing about blunderman1. He's a good fighter, even if he's in a losing position. He can fight back and win it. And maybe black is slightly worse here, but I think that's when blunderman is at his best. So what other ideas are there? I'm wondering why he didn't castle. Because, yeah, why not castle? Because now there's no annoying bishop staring down on h7. This pawn's defended. Okay, bishop, okay, that's why not, yeah, so this diagonal was weak. Okay, that's fair enough. So bishop here first and then castles. Well, Astavakra thinking a lot. It's an 8+8 game. So if it's a critical position, it's a good time to think. Yeah, at h6. Okay, and I was just thinking about castling, but at h6 is coming. Not so clear. I think it's okay. You take, bishop takes, check, and drop a pawn, takes, knight takes, at f6. So this knight is actually an issue. Yeah, not so clear at all. And then the thing about the knight, if it's on g5, then it's no longer, it's blocking the h6 square. So all really interesting. Okay, so the first thing always to check is the capture. So if takes, doesn't really work because we don't have a bishop for f3 and we're giving a whole queen away. So you don't really want to do that. But what if queen takes bishop? That's also interesting. Queen takes bishop, bishop takes pawn. You can't take it, but you could take it. Well, yeah. You don't have a knight is the problem. Queen takes bishop, bishop takes pawn. He could just step back, and you don't have time to take the queen because the knight would be here, and the queen is mating you. So that's an interesting line. Queen takes bishop, knight takes, bishop takes pawn check, king takes, bishop at f3, step back, and you don't have time to pick up the queen because the queen is landing with mate, defended by that knight. So it's always good to calculate those lines first, but yeah, it doesn't work, which is good to know. Putting on your piece in hand, excellent idea, and this is a huge threat. I really like it actually. What he's doing, what blunderman is doing here, he's putting pressure along this diagonal. I think that's a really smart idea. And if ever h6, there's always just takes back, so that's safe. So Astavakra is going to have to do something about this diagonal. Defend this knight somehow. Defend this diagonal. Reinforce the diagonal somehow. And reinforcing here doesn't work because you'll just trade more pawns for the attack. You'll just get hit along the light squares again and again, which means you have to defend somehow with a knight, one of these squares. But then the problem with that is there will always be ideas of stuff like knight takes knight, bishop takes queen. Now bishop takes queen might be a mate thread, but then knight takes another knight check, bishop takes pawn check. Okay, and I don't think it works, but you will have two knights and a pawn against a king, and I don't think that's quite enough. So, oh, but this is just asking for it. This is a kind of, you don't do this. You do not do this in Crazyhouse. Oh my goodness. Why? You have to just sack. You have to just go in there. Oh, he does it now. Yeah. You do not. Yeah, this is such a powerful attack because if the king goes to a dark square, you have these ideas. I'm surprised he didn't do at f3. So, but maybe it doesn't work. He's only got another knight in hand. Yeah. So the idea is, if he steps back, he wants knight at h3 and pawn at g2. So that's just lethal. Pawn at g2, game over. There are no defenders along this diagonal. This doesn't count as a defender. You just take with the queen, takes, and with the queen in hand, that's going to be checkmate. Queen here, check, king here. Oh, but this is just going to be game over. Yeah, pawn at g2, he's going to take the rook. He's got, as long as he's not getting mated himself, which seems extremely unlikely. So let's just check. Queen here, check, king here. Knight here, check, king here. Sorry, queen here, check, king here, knight here, check, king here, queen takes queen, rook takes queen. Okay, no, it's not quite working. Let's see. Okay, you've got to be careful. You don't want to give the queen away if you don't have the mate. So one has to be careful. Okay, but there's a bishop here. Yeah, this is all game over. Knight here and bishop comes in. Oh, the king comes up here. Okay, so it's not so clear. Not so clear. Not so clear. Let's see. I mean, there's also always queen takes pawn. I mean, it's not what you really want to do, but there's always that move. And he can't block with the queen. And then you could always go knight check and pick up the bishop, and then you're definitely going to be safe. But yeah, there must be something more. There must be something more concrete, because then once you pick up the bishop, there are no knight checks after takes. All the knight checks are covered. Okay, he's going down what was my original line. I'm a bit nervous about this line actually, because the king comes out to here. And I'm not sure how you mate the king on h3 with no pieces in hand. I don't see it. King h3, knight here. king back. Well, maybe you get a draw, but I don't see. So this doesn't quite seem as lethal. Let's see if anyone. I've been missing the chat. Knight h5, king h4. Wonder if queen takes h1 was better. So still everything's defended in a way. So you don't want to trade queens. Oh, unless you have mate. You don't want to trade queens unless you have mate. Okay, so queen takes queen. But now you better have mate. Okay, yeah, maybe he does have mate. Hang on a second. Just got to calculate this. Queen here, check. King takes knight. Or, yeah, you don't want to go knight here, check, king here, and it's not clear. So queen here, check, king takes knight. And we have, the problem is we have no pieces in hand. So pawn here, check. And so if king here, the queen goes here and here. And that's mate. So he has to step up again. So king here. I don't see it. This is really disturbing. Oh, bishop. That might be a good idea. But still this, and then this. Oh yeah, that might be enough. That might be enough. The thing is, he's going to try and run to h3 is the thing to be aware of. He's going to try and run to h3. And I don't see how you check the king on h3. That's why this was powerful because of this. So I really like this. But then I was worried. This, and I'm worried I'm not. Yeah, he's running to h3. Oh, you can stop him. Queen takes g2. Okay. It's completely safe. Yeah, he cuts the king off. Yeah. You cut the king off, and now it's just you just mate with pawns. It's very simple. Yeah. It should be simple with pawn here check, king here, and pawn here check mate. Oh, but there's en passant. But then queen here. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Well played, blunderman. So he gets 1-1 against Astavakra. Really good games. I'm going to have a quick look at the analysis, see if there was something more crushing. So mate in 2 in this position, and mate in 2. Oh, you didn't need the bishop check. You just go straight ahead. Okay, yeah, that's fairly clear. Yeah, so just stepping back a few moments. This was always very hairy. Sorry, my connection suddenly hung. It's all analyzed, but it's yeah, it's 1-1, blunderman1. I've got an unresponsive page, which maybe I'd try and reload it because of aborted second game. That's fine. I mean, you played 2 games. That's the point. Okay. Do I have to exit the page? Okay, try again. So analysis says black's winning the whole time. So Pepe had an interesting suggestion, by the way, which was when you started the second game, you could have requested the fen of the first game to make sure you were playing the same game in both. Yeah, so it's something quite complicated, which you could have done if you'd really wanted to, which, yeah, technically would have been more ideal, would be to request to play the same position both games. But no, that's completely fine. Like that's something which you'd have had to, if the players at the time saying, "I don't, this is not fair. We want to play." Um, ooh, there's this. Astavakra had this, and he's now winning. Knight at f4, and how do you defend this pawn? Not very easily. Yeah, so maybe for future, if that happens, try and set up a new challenge with the same position. But it's really not an issue. This is a fun. Okay, so yeah, you were doing really nicely the whole game. I was wondering about this. Do you just go for it? I was thinking just go for it, but I could kind of see why you were worried because of queen takes, knight here, knight takes, and you can't castle out of it because of bishop takes h7 ideas. Um, but um, but the engine is fearless. Um, what I should do actually is there is actually a study. Um, there's actually a study on Lichess. Um, so I'm going to put the games up on Lichess now, um, and yeah, let's do that. So okay, profile studies, Crazyhouse 960. I want the full games. Okay, so add a new chapter, PGN, paste in the PGM, let's go. That was game 1. And then we go to game 2. And I'm going to post the study link in, let's see, in the Twitch chat. So add a new chapter, paste that PGN in there. Black won both games. Ooh, cool. Interesting. So seems fine. So game 1. Yeah, so game 1 it seemed solid. I didn't see mate in 2, did I? Oh, you blundered mate in 2. Yeah, I missed the mate in 2 myself. That was. But apparently, actually, the whole game was actually, yeah, black is actually doing quite well after this move. After takes here, apparently that's the mistake. So the key move here is bishop at g4 keeps everything safe, and white is up material. But after here, then actually it's really uncomfortable. Knight h5 apparently, still holding. And this obviously is just a blunder. I didn't realize if this knight at e2, yeah, and maybe you missed that in the game. I missed it myself, but I was just thinking much more. I was thinking like this, that this is not very good either. So I'm going to delete that from there. Okay, so this is really uncomfortable. Knight here, check here. Okay, but then I was very surprised by this move, rather than why not? Yeah, because I didn't realize you couldn't take back. This is the problem. Yeah, so that's why you had to do this move. Knight here, check. Knight f4. So you figured that I can run, and this is a really sneaky move. I just didn't see this at all. That this and this is checkmate. Sorry, this and this is checkmate. Yeah, I didn't see this at all. And then obviously, if you go the other way, it's obviously checkmate. So really sneaky move. Apparently, bishop at h5 keeps things interesting. Lots of pressure on. f3, exactly. I saw f3 as being a threat as well. Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, so black is actually doing really well. But also just from the opening, I was wondering, what's the best way of handling this opening. So just have 3 CPU lines. Because I was thinking queen and bishop are both here, so surely you want to push c4, but no, the engine is not interested at all in c4. d3, it wants d3. Why does it want d3? If d3, d6, then it wants c4. Okay. And if d3 this, yeah. So it wants c4 second move. Why not c4 first move? c4, c6. I don't get it, but okay. So I was thinking this sort of setup maybe, but no, I'm not sure. I think what we did in game 2 was quite fun. This and this. So this was quite fun. As black, I thought that was a good setup. blunderman1 says, can we trust the engine at move 1? No, but it has some fundamental principle, so it'll see when something's completely wrong. So when this it says it doesn't really like it, there probably is some fairly good reason. So it doesn't like it because why does it not like it? I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess maybe you can't. It's just a guide. Anyway, so you copied each other. So and if you copy each other, obviously white gets a slight advantage. But maybe black could have done something slightly different and equalize. But okay, you copied each other and you're doing quite nicely. At here you're doing quite nicely basically. You could have developed the queen this way. Maybe there's a risk the queen on this side is not really. The queen and rook are kind of out of the game a little bit. So that was game 1. Game 2, basically, let's be very biased and look at everything from your perspective. Yeah, I like this whole setup. Now, okay, so here my instinct is this, but that's because I do stupid things. Oh, I see. I just completely missed that. And if knight takes f7, this is coming too quickly, so you can't do this. So you have to take back with the knight, and then you just develop normally. Knight d to f6, d3. We don't necessarily want to castle, but you take this off, and you can't even. Whoa. What's the idea of d3? The bishop's hanging, so bishop c2, e4, just to block off this diagonal, and then castle. No, just do this, and then castle. Okay, it still doesn't want to castle. It wants to keep on. It wants to keep on hammering the advantage home. So the point is, though, yeah, I just completely missed this move here. Shocking. So this obviously suddenly stuff becomes complicated. Apparently, queen b3 is annoying. Not very subtle. Queen b3. Apparently, you have to go knight d6. It's kind of annoying. Bishop c2. Queen e8. This sort of thing. Okay, but just backs off. Okay, but now the knight's gone, it feels a lot more comfortable. I really like this bishop at d5 move. Engine lights, queen d5. I really like this move, just staring down on this diagonal. Really, really nice. Just increasing pressure along here. Only thing is here, I was thinking go bishop g2 first, but I'm sure it's completely fine. Engine prefers what you did, taking on f6 first. And then bishop at g2. And queen d5, yeah, really beautiful move, queen d5. And was there a quicker mate? Queen f3, queen takes f2. Yeah, queen takes f2 maybe was quicker, slightly. Queen takes f2, knight d2, knight e4, king c1. Oh, but the engine is just brave. I was thinking this sort of position and knight takes bishop and say I'm completely winning. Because I was actually thinking this. I was thinking new knight here, king here, and knight takes bishop, and just say this knight is covering all the checking squares. These are all covered, and so black is winning. That was what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah. But this looked interesting, but risky, because there might have been a queen trade at some point. Okay, and then there was a queen trade. Now you have to find mate, or you're in a little bit of trouble. Okay, this is amazing. Queen at a4, bishop c2. This is hilarious. Bishop here check, blocks. Knight d5 check. Allow the knight to be taken. Takes. Knight takes pawn checkmate. Okay. This is really hilarious. Like I can't even see Oppa finding that mate, to be honest. Um, and you have to find every move. If you do something like a5 here or something, you lose. So it needs bishop d6, and if this b5 is mate, is the point. So that's why he has to block. And you allow this, and again, en passant, knight takes b6 checkmate. Utterly insane. But okay, that's not realistic. This looked very sensible. Bishop e6 looks sensible. Queen takes b2, key move, cutting the king off, and now it's a simple mate with the pawns. If king c5, then knight to d7, and if king here, then here. But the way he did it was even more proper, as it were. Cut the king off and then do this. And maybe he could be a bit annoying. Oh, he doesn't have a pawn in hand, so yeah, it doesn't work. If there were a pawn in hand, I was thinking push, push, en passant, but then the bishop diagonal's open, so queen here is checkmate. But yeah, really nice win in game 2. Cool. Such fun, says Joanna Tries. Yeah, it was fun to cover it as well. Yeah, really, you're winning the whole game in game 2, and you put it away. So really nice. Game 1, oof. I mean, you're up so much material, but it's like how to stay safe in this position. It's actually weird because in game 2, I thought your position looked uncomfortable. At what point? I was thinking, I don't know. In this position here, I was actually thinking your position looked uncomfortable. I just didn't realize. I was thinking all of these threats like at h6. I was feeling quite uncomfortable actually as black, but I didn't realize. I was thinking you'd pull it back despite the fact it was uncomfortable because you'd find a way. But I didn't realize that it was actually completely crushing. And just really nice moves you found. You had a free piece, but you didn't. Yeah. Takes. So you had a free piece, but yeah, you didn't take this one. You could have taken 2 free pieces, as it were. I mean, yeah. And you can't even defend, so you have to back off. So you'd have a free piece and king safety if you wanted, whereas instead you had a free piece and a rather uncomfortable king. So it looked uncomfortable, but you were fine. So I misjudged it. Okay, nice games, and congratulations to you and your team. And someone on your team or yourself are free to update the first spreadsheet link, the master link, as it were, in your VChess messages. Cool. So good games. VChess doesn't appreciate ZH960. Sad. But who should we raid? Let's just quickly raid someone. Chuck Moulton is playing Bughouse, so that's an easy choice. Let's raid Chuck Moulton. Thanks, Blunderman. And well played. I know you got up at 4:30 in the morning to play it, so. Okay, so bye guys, and check out some Bughouse with Chuck Moulton.